Okay, this is cutting of the sonotube. The sonotube comes in 4-foot and 8-foot, maybe even longer. We always buy it in the 4-foot. That's the easiest to haul around. But then you have to cut it down to the length you want. Here's one we've got cut to be a very short one. Usually what we do is 2 24 inchers. This particular drum is 26 inches. It's totally up to you what length you want to make them. I was just cutting another one and I discovered that it wasn't 4 feet long. I only measured from one end. I got through cutting and I put the two of them up beside each other, and one was longer than the other. It turns out that that particular sonotube was 48 inches, 48 1/2 inches. So, you know, that's just something to be aware of, that they might not always be exactly 4 feet long. So what I'm going to do, I've checked this one. This one is pretty much exactly 48 inches, and so to get two equal-sized drums, I'll measure 24 inches from one end. And I always kind of look at them, because in the store where you buy these, and there's information on materials sources at another place on the DVD or in the video, they get banged around, so usually one end is in better shape than the other. So I try and find the one that is the least banged up to measure from. And I'm going to set these down out of the way. Oh, and I forgot to show all the tools. A tape measure, of course, a pencil for marking, and then a utility knife for cutting, and then this happens to be a chunk of tar paper from when I roofed my motorhome cover, but it's just got a nice straight edge, and it's a long enough piece that it can wrap around the sonotube and overlap. And then when you do that and get the edges lined up in the overlap part, then you're getting a very nice even circumference around there, and then you can draw a pencil line following that edge and get a nice smooth circumference around to follow that line to cut, and that way you don't get the drum uneven when you set it down on your cut edge. It actually stands up straight. So I'll continue with my measuring. And you try and be as perpendicular to the end as you can, but it's not rocket science, so if it's off a little bit, it doesn't hurt. And I make marks about every 6 inches. And then I'm back around to my initial mark there, so I've got that done. So I'm done with the tape measure and the pencil. Now I take this and I wrap it around the sonotube. And then slide it so that it's on my marks or reasonably close to them. And then I use this to draw a continuous line around the sonotube, which I will then follow with my saw or knife or whatever tool you choose to cut with. I've tried lots of different ways. I tried cutting this on a chop saw. I tried cutting them on a table saw. This turns out to be the easiest and most accurate mark. utility knife, extend the blade out, get it locked, and then simply put the tip on the line and push it in, and keep doing that as I go around following. Okay, it's cut through. Set it on there. The cut ends. You can see it sits nice and straight. And it's ready for the next step, the gluing in of the embroidery hoops.